Well, hey there everybody. Today I'm going to teach you how to make these super simple buttercup blossom flowers. This is a design from my ebook, The Joy of Paper Flowers, that was released a couple of years ago, and I wanted to make a video on it. This flower in particular is super beginner friendly. There's not a lot of fancy things you have to do to make it look super cute and pretty. It's a great filler flower for arrangements. You can cut these templates by hand with the printable PDFs and just a pair of scissors, or if you have a cutting machine, you can use the SVG cut files and cut them out on a Cricut or Silhouette or a similar type of machine. I am going to be using a cutting machine in this tutorial, but you can of course use those printable PDFs and a pair of scissors if you do not have a cutting machine. So I've loaded my templates up in Cricut Design Space, or you can print them out, and I have selected some cardstock here. I chose sort of a cream color paper here. That can be used either for the center or for the petals. I like to mix them up because buttercups can come in like deeper yellows and also really light pale yellows. And then I also have a more golden yellow here, which I'm going to use as the center. And then I have a green for the very innermost center point. So just a couple of different shades of paper there. If you're using a cutting machine, then go ahead and load your paper onto your Cricut mat or any similar cutting machine that you might be using. I am selecting lightweight cardstock on my cutting machine for this particular paper. If you like this metallic shiny paper, I have resources for it. I'm going to link it for you below, and I also have some other guides on my blog that could help with paper selection. I've selected lightweight cardstock, and now I'm just going to have my machine cut this out. Once your templates are cut out, flip the mat over if you're using a cutting machine and peel the material away from the mat. That will help eliminate the curling of your paper. Alright, so in order to build one buttercup flower, you will need 3 of these largest size petal layers here. You'll need 2 of the next size down, and then for the centermost piece you will need 5. Now if you're cutting by hand, I know these can be a little challenging. So even though there are PDF printables included, I want to tell you that if you go to your local craft store like Michael's or Hobby Lobby or any of those places, you will be able to find flower punches that are very similar to these in small and medium sizes. And you can use those instead and just cut these pieces by hand. And it will save you a lot of time if you do not have a cutting machine. So it's just a little extra tip for you. Alright, so we're going to build the center first. So I'm just going to set those aside. I'm going to start with these 2 slightly larger pieces, and I'm just going to gather them just like that, and then glue one right on top of the other. I'm using a high temp hot glue gun here. If you like the one I'm using, it's by Surebonder, and I have a link for it below in the video description for you. Just click on Show More to reveal all the links. I also have links to these templates exactly, as well as my book, The Joy of Paper Flowers, and this template is included, so if you want more than just this template, then just opt for the ebook and it is included for you. So I have gone ahead and I'm going to gather them both up again there, so they have a little depth to them. Now for these pieces, you're going to repeat the process here, but instead of 2, we're going to have 5. So I'm going to start with 1, and I'm going to kind of gather it real nice and closed up there, and add just a tiny dot of hot glue and place. Once you've gathered all 5 and glued them together, you should have sort of a cluster there in the center. You can sort of see a close-up of it. Should look something like that. Alright, now we're going to glue this piece into the larger one. There you go. So the center of your buttercup flower is now done. I'm just going to set that aside for a moment. And then for these 3 pieces, it's going to be a similar process. We're going to kind of just bend these up. Now normally I would probably curl these in some way, but for the buttercup I find that just folding them up to add some dimension looks more like a buttercup in nature would, because buttercups typically don't have a lot of curl. They just have, you know, kind of straight blossoming petals that go straight out. So that's why this is a very simple design, and it's great for beginners because of that. So once you've done that, go ahead and add some glue to the center of one, and then place another on top. And pay attention to alternate the petal points between each other. So it's alternating below to the one on top, just like that. And then I'm going to do that one more time. All that's left now is to add our center, so I'm going to pick that up and add a little glue onto the bottom there. Place that right into the center, and you can kind of let it open out a little bit, give it a little bit of a fluff. For the bottom petals, you can kind of encourage them to sit up a little bit more at this point if you want. And there you go. There is your Buttercup blossom. And like I said, you can make these in different shades. So I did this one here with just 2 colors, and it was like a yellow on yellow with the green center. This is a little bit more traditional for a buttercup, but again, play around with it and see what you like. Now, at this point, our buttercup is finished, but if you do want to stem this, in most cases, a lot of people will use these on reeds and for other purposes, but if you do want to stem it, I'll show you that real quick. I just use a 18 gauge wire here, and I fold the tip down about maybe an inch down or so, and I shape it into sort of a small circle. Maybe circle's not the right word, but oval, I guess you could say. So it gives a little bit of a base to glue onto. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab an extra layer of this. If you don't want to use an extra layer, you could, and you know you're going to stem, you could do this before gluing the base layers together, or you could add a piece of greenery and just follow the same process instead of this. So all I'm going to do for this is I'm going to punch a little bit of a hole using a pair of scissors. I'm just going to punch a little hole right in the center there. And I'm going to thread this wire through, just like that. And let it kind of go right up to the top there. And then add some glue right over the wire area specifically. And grab your flower, and then go ahead and place that right on top. And give it a little bit of a pinch right where the petals are meeting the stem there, so that it closes up and you don't see it or anything, and it'll look really seamless for you. It can be helpful to sort of do this upside down while it's drying. And you might want to hold it for at least like 20 seconds for the glue to set up, otherwise it could sort of fall off on you. Alright, so that is exactly how I would stem one of these buttercup blossoms. Just like that. I hope you guys liked this tutorial. I loved sharing it with you. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks for watching.